Now that we've gotten through that room, let's go take a look at the next room, the next little encounter space, and see how Skummeh tackles it. And there's a couple interesting things going on here, that some unique lessons. So let's take a look. So it's gonna be hard to see. Okay, they come around the corner. He gets the shield up. Man-hacks go around. Yeah, the man-hack is great as a distraction. The charger is great to suppress you and let the grunts move in. But you'll see it here. So he kills that guy. Hit him with a shield. Oh, right there. You may have blinked and missed it. We'll go back 5 seconds. I believe there's a slow-mo option on YouTube, but I don't know how to trigger it. I'll do it frame by frame. Right there. So you see this grunt with his hand in the air? He's reaching behind. You can kind of see with his head. And notice he is right there with his hand. You can just see right by the edge of the charger. He is trying to throw a grenade over the charger's shield. He does not have a grenade, so he's not throwing anything. He's trying to do it, but he's not. I'll explain that in a second. And then the grunt dies, and Skummeh has to reload. Now, if the grunt had gotten that grenade off, one, this is Merciless, so grenades have a lot shorter timers when they come from grunts. But on top of that, Skummeh wouldn't be able to just keep aiming at the charger. He would have a grenade on him he'd need to deal with, and that would completely change how he would approach the situation. And he wouldn't just be able to point and shoot anymore. Now he'd have to interact with the environment. So allowing that guy to grenade is very important. I'll show why that's happening really quickly right here. So these are AI attached item managers, these right here. They're pretty self-explanatory. With MOV balancing, the grenade itself will be deleted if the player has a grenade in his inventory, like Skummeh has right here. But you notice here, that is not set. It's presumably one of... Yeah, either one of these grunts were the ones that did that. So, what is happening? It turns out that Quantum had forgotten to spawn the grunts with the items that they're meant to have. So they spawn, and the AI attached item manager, goodness gracious, that's a tongue twister, does not spawn with him. So he spawns as a default grunt. Default grunts have grenades on them that are set to have their MOV balanced. So you want to always use AI attached item managers. So we're just going to throw that into the template real quick. So that fixes that. You can do an anti-compile real quick to show you some stuff. But there's some other problems going on with this encounter. It works out fine here, but in other times, when this charger comes around the corner, his grunt buddies, what's the word? His grunt buddies block it. He blocks his grunt buddies' paths. Yeah, so he basically just blocks their paths. And this guy rushes really far up. Because Skummeh engages the grunt from here, there's not really a lot of choices between Skummeh or the grunt to really maneuver around or make any interesting tactical decisions. Let me hop in game. Let me hop in game real quick and see how this plays out. So he comes around, he sees me. Okay, there, that guy runs there. Starts shooting just fine. Yeah, but see here, so I'm here. They kind of just stay in place. If I duck, they don't really do... Yeah, he kind of gets out in the open. They don't really do much. The charger, when he decides to move up, he's got a buddy in the way. If the charger moves up, that is. Yeah, he comes down this way. So a lot of the fighting is sort of funneled over here. There was this nice route, side route on the over here, but once you dug into this cover position, really this cover on the left is the only stuff that's really useful. So I'm just gonna mess around a little bit, see if I can get some more out of these guys. Oh, interruptible or damage or death. Interesting. So the chargers, when they go back to their normal AI, they will shoot on the move. They will blind fire. They will do a million different things. I think what just happened there, because I shot that charger earlier, and he kind of paused for a second and went moving off to the right somewhere. I think the AI actually tried to take cover. Let me check the nav mesh real quick. Okay, so they can definitely go here for the most part. I'm going to give them a little bit more room. You know what? I'm going to make this go through the wall, actually. so that they can poke their heads around it a little bit more. But this is still a really narrow space. First thing I'm going to try and do is give the grunts some more space. Yeah. So the fight starts here. Because of how the cover options to the player, and to get some variety, I'm actually going to change this. Player ducks down here, they can get flanked on the right. Cool. And then if they need to, they can retreat here. I'm going to actually have this fight start sooner with the enemies farther away, just so that the player can get into, so that when the fight starts, they can choose between this cover or that cover. This cover is kind of vulnerable, but actually, ooh, I've got an idea. This is just me having a fun time now. Now I'm just doing whatever the heck I want. Forget trying to make the AI a little bit. Oh, this guy's going to get caught in the way of the crate. Ooh, that's problematic. This will be fine. We'll see how this works out. This covers. I can really tuck into this cover though. Ooh, okay. Let's. Just thinking, because like if I stand here, if I really fall back into here, they can't really threaten me much. So if I do that, rotate this some, and get a cover position on this crate, I can get them to sort of move in over there as they push in on me, and then I can even get pinchered if a charger comes around. So this is a really wacky piece of cover. Yeah, so this is a big cover volume. The AI should be able to use it just fine, and if I take cover here, they will be able to destroy this crate and get a nice line of sight on me. Okay, now about these AI troubles. One of the problems is congestion, because you're essentially getting these three enemies to all come into these three spots from one area, so they're running into each other. I can delay it, do some fancy stuff with how chargers walk and run. Additionally, if I had my drithers, I don't know, whatever the term is, some fancy term that I tried to sound smarter with, and that's not the case, I would actually try and lower this space here by a couple units, just to give the soldiers a chance to actually shoot over the top of the charger, because they'll kind of go into this low ground down here. I feel like that would be changing this a little bit too radically, but because I'm not doing it that way, I'm going to do something similar to what I did before, where I'm just going to have two soldiers spawn, and then once one dies, another one's going to spawn. The other thing, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll mention it again. This soldier who runs to this point does not have a lot of options to move up by his own AI. He kind of moves up to here, and then he just kind of gets stuck out there. So by having them spawn in the back, I can have the charger and other soldier actually cooperate to move up together in tandem. Like, you know, like a unit, like a squad, like people working together. So, but a big part of how this space or battle goes is how the charger can be seen in the light as he comes around this corner. So, I remember that being a pretty big part of the original. So I'm actually going to try and put this wall back to where it was, relatively. So the charger will likely stop here. So I'm going to move this here. And I'm actually going to have him start behind the light, so he gets into the light as he comes around the corner. Because they kind of they walk once they see an enemy or know of an enemy, unless I tell him not to, he's going to be pretty slow. Yeah, so if I get him to go around here and I have his buddy who's going to the wall go around the outside, I think that should work perfectly. I will have him run goal path and actually have him stick to the back of the room when he runs in. Additionally, because the charger spawns so close to this point, I am actually going to change this to interrupt on combat, and let's see how that works. Having just be two squad members also mean that it kind of frees up their movement more, because, you know, soldiers will flank to the left and right depending on where they are. So with a charger in the middle and a grunt on the right, that means he's free to go left or right around the charger. If there was a grunt on the right and a grunt on the left, the grunt on the right could not really go anywhere or do anything. So the reason I'm using a relay for this, if it's not clear, is because I can then make it so that it only triggers once. So it can be triggered from either this guy dying or that guy dying. Speaking of which, I talked to Quantum about this, and I'm glad he's doing it here. Due to the way cover volumes work and the way the Combine flank, they can actually end up flanking very far into places you don't want them to. So if you notice, when he spawns these guys, he actually kills the cover in the first area. And that's very important, because they could potentially run past you to get there. This one should not be killed, though, because this is important and used in this fight. Let me check some distances real quick. So they are all at default advance range. Doesn't really matter for chargers. For grunts it does. Alright, so it's 200. Let's see what 250 is. 250 is right on the edge. Ooh, that should be fine. That'll actually work really well. Unless someone pushes really aggressively. That is a perfect range. Holy cow. Okay, good. I get to leave them on default settings. Okay, that's set up, that's set up. Let's fix these cover volumes. Having cover volumes split up like this can be good or bad depending. I prefer not to do it, just because it, when they pick between cover volumes, I tend to find that they kind of make sure to at least have one guy in one cover volume. So having one big cover volume is a little bit more, it helps them spread out a little bit more than having two separate ones. It's more of a superstition at this point, because I have not been able to confirm that at all. But I'm going to try and do that here, I think. There we go. Now this right here has caused people a lot of problems. When switching between, when you accidentally do the wrong entity, occasionally this internal little thing will get set. Reset to that to default. If it doesn't have this in here, then it will not function as a cover volume. Very important, make sure to always check that when you're dealing with cover volumes. Make sure there's plenty of room on this side, just so that they can kind of come around the side and shoot from there. And also put the reference position close to the pillar. So that should be better there, that's better there, that's better there, that's better there. I feel like I forgot something, but... Oh, the fallback trigger, that's right. I want to be careful, because player teleport distance is about 200 units, I think. And so I don't want it to be where he can run into the player if they teleport up to this point. I want it to be a little bit farther than that, just so I don't want him to run straight into the player. So let's jump into it. Okay, we're back here in game. Killed the first group because I didn't want you to sit through that. But as I did so, I saw this guy right here run up here and chuck a grenade right into this fence. So I am revoking his grenade privileges right now, this instant. That might mean I can add a grenade back to there. But there's the charger. Comes right around that corner, starts firing. Okay, that guy's a little slow. I might have to see how I do that. It does seem kind of small with only having the charger and grunt there. I wish I could get the charger forward some more, but come on, dude. Move up. Why is he hanging back like this? Oh, God. Alright. This is all part of the iteration process. Because everything goes differently once you get the AI involved. Let me see if I can bait that charger forward. Let's get this started in here. Get it started, huh? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing with that. Alright, Charger Man. What is your problem? Oh! That would do it. Long visibility / shoot is problematic with chargers. Now, knowing the AI weapon ranges, let me check real quick. The SMG range is 700 units. Wow. Okay. Yeah, no, you don't need long visibility / shoot. There we go. Now we can actually get the charger charging. Let's run that again really quickly. And see how they react now. If they still hang back and it still seems kind of lame, I'm going to try and get that third grunt involved. But I'm going to have to start thinking about cover and enemy flow to be able to get that working. So let's try this first. Okay, we're back in game. Now, I'm thinking out loud real quick, because it just occurred to me that maybe Quantum wanted the charger to actually be suppressive from a distance. I don't know that for certain, though. But just in case, I'm doing it this way, because chargers are chargers, and I like them to behave like chargers. But that's personal preference. So there is some of my... Man, look at that guy run to cover. What a bro. Okay. Okay, let's see how this works. I'm going to cover here. Yeah, you don't really get to see him run around the corner anymore. See, now that the charger's actually staying at, you know, charger range, I could theoretically have the other grunt come into the fray. Let's dive in here and see what happens. There, he's actually pushing up. And the grunt buddy's coming to support him. And now he's running into cover. And if I go here, he theoretically could shoot me. Stay back. Now he's gonna stay on. Oh, yep, there he goes. So he could move to the right. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There he goes. Yes. Okay. We are in business. Oh, and there goes his friend. Yeah. Now that the charger be charging, we're actually going to get that other grunt into the fray, because it is a lot easier of a fight with him in there. Yeah, you kind of just see the charger around the corner, so I might actually push the charger away a little bit. Keep him on delay, then have him spawn after 3 seconds. Actually, the rush point will be farther away in the middle. Just so that we can make absolutely sure that he stays away from his friend's spot. We'll see how that goes. I might have to get fancy with how he rounds this corner, but little things, little things. Let's try this. God, you just run, man. God, if you don't kill him right away, he's gonna duck towards cover. That's awesome. Well, that man just goes. And then you see the charger shadow. Awesome. And he runs to the middle. This guy runs off to the left. And he knocks out the window, and then his buddy comes. Okay, that could be... Oh, look at him. And he even goes to the spot without being told. All AI driven. Look at that. That just felt good. Okay, there's something I should say really quickly. And he's tossing a grenade. Oh, look at them. Oh, I'm so proud. Okay, anyway. Oh my god. It's the little things, okay? It's the little things. Let me get this guy to go slightly shorter. We'll do 3 seconds on him. That means when he runs to here, he will actually be able to make decisions as whether or not he wants to move up. Like if there's a grenade, if the player moved right up to this pillar, he might not move up there. Anyway. Oh, perfect. Nice. Yeah, this is another perfect distance of 250. So if the player moves up to here, they'll stick at these pieces of cover. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, let me build this one more time, and then we'll move on to the next room. All right, back in game. Oh, shoot, they heard me. Well, we'll see how this goes when they heard me. Oh, back away. Will someone flank? Is a real question. Oh, they're suppressing. Come on. I know you want to do it. Get over here. There's the grunt. Okay, I really took myself into this corner. And he flanks. Nice. I do kind of like how you can bunny hop from that piece of cover to this one. So if you don't really tuck yourself into this corner and leave you slightly exposed, he'll move his way up to flank you. Now let's see how this fight goes. So I'm here. See the manhack. The manhack dives under the ground, whatever. Oh, see the charger going around the corner, duck into cover. That thing breaks. He's moving in. He moves in. And then he does his own thing. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at him. He even moved to the right as well. Oh, and he's tucking a grenade to flush me out of there, pushing me back. Look at that. Look at them. They're kind of pushing up on me. I need to shoot back at them to get them to go away. I did not mean to shoot you, but whatever. That's nice. And he even tried to cover behind the charger. Now, they moved up. I could potentially have kept this guy back. But, you know, if you're being aggressive, they'll stay up. If you fall back, they won't. And that gives more of a rest here anyway. Because you don't want the player to be... He didn't originally have the player be fighting up to here. Having the charger, like, just appear right here is a lot more interesting than having you can kind of see his head before you see him. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next room.